What a fiery end.
Ooh, what a game. The
I mean,
Canucks needed a game like that. Let me just say that first and foremost. But also, I hate sitting on leads. Holy, that was a little closer than it needed to be.
100%.
I wish on the 5-on-3, instead of trying so hard to get DeBrusk's Hattie, as nice as that would have been, we would have just tried to bury one. Like, just let Hronek shooting gallery it. We only had 4 shots in the third period there, compared to Ottawa's 12. And it definitely got too close for comfort right down to the end.
People in the chat were like talking about, I think it was the Saints was asking us about whether or not we trade Pettersson for Tkachuk. And I mean, I probably wouldn't make that trade at this point. Like, Pettersson's been looking really good lately, but you did see the pull that is Brady Tkachuk. He is a little swear jar shit disturber out there.
Yes, exactly.
What did you think too? Because there was a little scuffle in front of the net, Hoglander and Stützle getting into it. How do we come out of that with a penalty?
I really don't know, because Stützle made a very dangerous check on Hoglander there, cross-checking him in the back about 6 feet from the boards. That could have ended very bad. That could have been broken necks for either one of them. I really am at a loss for how we ended up on the kill there. And then during the course of killing that penalty, Norris in front of the net hooks Soucy for one, and then when Soucy gets back up and Norris sees him coming, he then body checks him out of the way for another interference penalty. Neither one of them was called. Puck ends up in our net. That one's a bit frustrating. Granted, they did give us the 5-on-3 tonight. We had 6 power plays after Hughes was ejected, so we can't really pile on the refs. They did give us our opportunities. Obviously, our power play is struggling without Miller and Boeser.
Or Hughes.
That being said, or Hughes, yeah, there you go, or Hughes. It's a note that like we didn't expect to be having about the power play tonight. But that PD, DeBrusk, and Sherwood line, look out. That is clicking on all cylinders right now.
Developing some chemistry there. It's good to see, because with the power of Sherwood there, the hit leader in the NHL, and then talking about hits, tonight, very physical game on both sides. Canucks ended up with 37 hits. Ottawa ended up with 36 hits. So both two physical teams. You love to see that kind of game, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. You love to see the energy and passion that the Canucks brought. They were standing up for themselves. They were pushing the play as much as they could. Getting up 4-1 there in the second period. 3-1 after the second period, and getting the goal from Sherwood about 10 minutes into the third there. I mean, it's just so huge for the team to have a game like that, because they were putting in the effort and they were rewarded well. It sucks that we had it so close, being 4-3, but really a good start to this road trip, and definitely things that the team can build on. I'd say this is probably one of the best steps in the right direction we've seen in a while as a complete game overall.
All we needed was a little road trip. Something that didn't look so good tonight. You talked about during the first intermission, the Canucks only winning 34.5% of the faceoffs tonight. What has happened? Is it just simply you got Miller out of the lineup? Is that kind of part of it, or is there something else going on with the Canucks struggling in the faceoff dot lately?
Not entirely Miller. It does have a lot to do with it. As we know, Miller wins a lot of those faceoffs with his forehand slap to the boards. But however, Petey got dummied in the faceoff dot today. I think he was only 18%, which is unlike him. He's usually closer to 40, 50% most nights. Giroux had an amazing night in the dot for Ottawa. I think he only lost 1 draw the whole night. So when you come up against veteran centers that really know what they're doing, I mean, it's just sometimes those nights are those nights, and you need to fight harder to win those draws. Also, when you're a visiting team, there's sometimes moments where you have to put your stick down second. So that could have something to do with it, the home team getting the advantage on some of the draws. But Ratu was, again, our best faceoff guy. coming in at 40. Or no, he was second. Suter won 50%, but Ratu was right up at 45. So on a night where we were getting beat pretty badly, still some good numbers from a couple guys there.
It's a pretty rare thing to see too, because the Canucks literally only had 4 guys. Like only the centers took a faceoff all night. So that means that nobody got tossed. And yeah, P.S. Suter with 50%, and then Atu Ratu at 45%. But then Teddy Bluger and Pettersson struggling. Teddy Bluger 31%. Elias Pettersson, there we go, 18% in the faceoff dot. I've got like at least another couple months before I'm going to have to really get that one when he gets called up for and actually plays in a game. But yeah, yes, really tough in the faceoff dot tonight.
Yeah, it was a tough night, and that speaks even more to controlling the play for the majority of the night. It means we were winning puck battles all night, and getting the puck back, and that's huge. That's something that we'd been struggling with, getting in on the forecheck, getting the puck first, and it's something that I'm sure Tocchet will be happy with tonight. 7 takeaways. That's and generating 6 giveaways off of Ottawa. So 13 moments there where there was some good puck battles getting it back. So that's obviously good stuff for the boys that have been struggling to win those the last few games.
It's interesting because it almost felt like kind of a role reversal where the Canucks came out really strong. Other than the 5-minute penalty kill in the first period, they really did control play through the first 2 periods. So kind of the opposite look of what we've seen from the Canucks, where usually they're the ones who are back on their heels getting scored on first to start the game. Tonight, they really flipped that script. Is that a case of partly them playing better and maybe Ottawa being a struggling team, or what do you chalk that up to?
I think it was a little of both. The Canucks definitely played better defensively tonight. They covered the slot play from Ottawa very well. Ottawa didn't get much to the middle until about the last, I would say, 5 minutes of the game, when they were having the the goalie pulled and having an extra man. Then they were finally getting into the middle. But for the majority of the night, there was no real dangerous chances coming out of the slot area from Ottawa at all, and the Canucks were doing a good job of boxing them out. I got to give credit where credit's due. Soucy and Myers had a much better night tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I know they've been struggling, and so we got to give them their props when they do have a good night, and tonight was one of their better nights. So we got to say a good job to those boys.
I think it's one of those things I feel with Myers and Soucy is both of them do have a pretty decent offensive upside, but it's one of those things where it feels like they were trying to force a little bit too much. They were trying to be too fancy, and that's not, they're not Brandstrom, they're not Quinn Hughes, but when the opportunity presents itself, they are capable of it. So maybe they just had that simplified game tonight, which allowed them to kind of settle in a little better.
Absolutely. I mean, Myers still has his moments where the wires cross when you take a freaking bomb slap shot from your own blue line trying to go top cheese on the empty net, but maybe just a nice little wrister next time would have sufficed.
Yeah, might have to have the practice drill and the skate tomorrow to see if because it's been a while since they did the empty net goal practice drill. So,
yeah, there you go.
Connor Garland gets his 10th assist of the season, so up to 10 assists so far this year. Been an absolute beast. What can you say about the man's game with a brand new baby?
I mean, he's got that dad strength, right? He's got extra energy, extra adrenaline in the tank. He gives us that every night, though. He's been our best forechecker since the beginning of the season. He gets in the fastest. He works hard below the red line to use his body, what he has of a body, to push guys off the puck. And a lot of those assists that he's getting are from below the goal line, where he's digging that loose puck out, finding the open guy in front, when the other team's kind of puck watching and determining whether they need to go and help with the puck battle. And he's so fast at getting that pass out front that that's where a lot of his success has come from.
3 stars of the night. Coming in for your 3rd star is Stützle, the German phenom, with 1 goal. 2nd star, another guy we haven't even talked about yet, but also a big, huge surprise for the Vancouver Canucks, Kiefer Sherwood, with a goal and an assist tonight. What can you say about the hit leader in the NHL, also with the scoring touch?
Well, and also set a career high for hits in a game tonight, I believe. I don't know what the final total was, but I know it was. I'm pretty sure it was in double digits. I mean, what a signing by Alvin. How did Nashville let this guy go with all the struggles they're having right now? They would love to have a guy like Sherwood on their team, um, fitting in very well in a top six role. Who knows right now if it's sustainable? He's never been in that position before, but
Mhm.
right now all systems point to this line is not slowing down, and they're going to be leaned on to generate the majority of our offense with Boeser until we have Boeser and Miller back in the lineup.
I'm just looking at Kiefer Sherwood's profile too. He's 29 now, so he's born in 1995, so he'll be turning 30 in the new year. Um,
hmm
but that's the thing is in today's NHL that you're talking about a man who's directly in the prime of his career and having an absolute career season. I'm trying to look up his hits, but I can't see it. But you're right. If he had a double digits hit again, it must have been like 10, 13 hits or something like that tonight. Um,
Yeah, it had to have been something crazy.
and then number one star tonight, it was pretty much an easy pick with Jake Brusk with the 2 goals and the assist 3-point night. Big night stepping
Yep,
up in the absence of a whole lot of other guys. What'd you
and we
see in
need
his
that from
game?
him. I saw a very focused player tonight. He was doing the things that he needs to do to be effective, using his body, being in front of the net, the tip in goal, and then he almost got the hat trick there on the 5-on-3 with another nice tip. Maybe a little more speed on the pass, and that thing's in the back of the net. I think that's really nice to see. I think this line, being back on Petey's line, has energized him. I think that's where he had envisioned himself when he signed here, and to be able to find that chemistry with Petey and now with Sherwood there as well, that's something that is almost like finding a diamond in the rough for the Canucks. No one envisioned Sherwood being up the lineup this high. He was supposed to be a third line grinder type guy, but he's shown he has a heck of a shot, and maybe was just too far down the depth chart on some of those teams he was on before the Canucks.
I think that one of my favorite quotes from chat tonight was no Miller, no Boeser, no Demko, no Hughes, no Shorthouse, no problem, which is an accurate
Yeah.
statement. So we got the Abbey Canucks are playing right now as we speak. Is that happening right now?
Yes, they are playing in Henderson.
Mm-hmm.
It is 5 minutes into the second period. It's still 0-0 right now, but it's been pretty much all Abbotsford. Shots are 15-5. Tolopilo is making the start tonight on the short turnaround on the back-to-back, after Ty Young has made the last two starts. Henderson doesn't exactly have a ton of scoring threats. A lot of their younger guys have been brought up to the Vegas team, with the departures of Marchessault and a couple other guys. So their cupboard's pretty bare right now. So it's great to see the Abbey Canucks kind of getting these games where they're holding the offensive control, but obviously um, can't take too much into it with a Henderson team that hasn't got off to the best start this year.
Is that just a situation like you said? A lot of these guys have now left the team up in the NHL playing for the Golden Knights. Is this a situation where the organization as a whole is finally running out of extra pieces that they just like scooped in during the expansion draft? Because the amount of haul that they got in draft picks and extra players was absolutely insane. Are we finally seeing a point where the shenanigans of that organization is catching up to them?
I think it's balancing out for sure. I think the NHL learned its lesson and made the rules a little a little better when Seattle came in. But yeah, I think it's just I think it's also a product of Vegas continually going for it since their inception.
Yeah.
Um, so they have no issues trading draft picks, trading for high end players. They've been very active at the trade deadline every year. Everyone knows about their cap circumvention stuff with Stone going on the IR every year, right around February for the last 3 years. Give them all that extra space to pick up big players at the trade deadline, but what happens then is you don't have anyone to draft. So you end up with a farm team that struggles to get wins.
Well, we'll take it because it felt like the baby Canucks needed a bit of a softball to get them back into the groove.
Exactly. Yeah. No, for sure. And it's helping them to really show that the systems that Malhotra as a rookie AHL coach is trying to implement are starting to work. And against those teams, you should be able to dominate with the structure that he's pushing.
The Canucks have a couple of days off, Sunday, Monday off, and then we face those dastardly Boston Bruins. Everyone's still upset. It's like 13 years later, and we're still upset about the 2011 finals. What do you expect to see against a team that we are not a fan of that also has a couple of former Canucks now playing for them?
It's hard to say. They just underwent their coaching change, which I personally saw coming. The message had been sent by the players that they weren't impressed with their coaching staff when they had a players only meeting a couple of weeks, probably about a month ago now. And they left their coaches standing on the ice before practice starts for 10 minutes without the players. So there was a very clear message sent by the on ice guys there. And it wasn't surprising that Montgomery got the boot. It is surprising, given his winning record, that Boston was struggling to find an identity this year. But we'll have to see how they play under Joe Sacco.
Yeah, should be interesting to see. Yeah, there's been some reports they might just kind of wait things out because there might be a few other coaches that are looking to get fired that they might want to pick up right when they get the boot from their own current teams. So
Yeah, it sounds like things are pretty dysfunctional in Anaheim. We've seen a huge regression from players like Trevor Zegras and things like that. Also, you have Richardson in Chicago. There's a very, very, very frustrated Bedard playing there, not really knowing what his coach wants from him,
mhm.
and that's not good when you have a generational talent like him being that frustrated. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It's around that time, the 20 game mark, where teams know where they should be, where they want to be, and it's not surprising we're starting to see some coaches' heads roll. In this day and age, it's easier to fire one coach than to trade 6 or 7 players. So
Mhm.
it's unfortunately the way that the business goes, and I would not be surprised if the next one to go is Richardson in Chicago.
Yeah, I think any chance they sniff around on Joel Quenneville.
Oh, hard to say. Now that he's reinstated, I mean, there is that opportunity. He has the history, and I mean, yeah, why not? I mean, really, why not? Right?
Yeah, you hire the man with the mustache in the middle of November. It might be a good idea.
There you go.
Dustin, before I let you go, I just wanted to once again say thank you very much for the nicest donation of the night, $69. That's absolutely awesome. You're a saint, and I look forward to many more Rusty and Dusty side shows and post game shows, and we got a lot of fun stuff planned coming up here. So we'll talk again on Tuesday.
Unfortunately, I'm away on vacation for the next 2 games. I will be back for the game on
Ooh,
the 29th. So I will be in Las Vegas on a golf trip for the back to back. But I will be returning on the 29th when we take on Buffalo.
looks like we're gonna have some guest stars coming up.
But I absolutely appreciate what you're doing. It's been an honor to help you out. The Canucks have always been a passion of mine. I enjoy analyzing hockey, just even league wide. Talking with you has been awesome, and I love the growth. Keep doing what you're doing. It's great, and happy to be a part of it. And I can't wait to see where we go from here.
Yeah, you do a really good job too, brother. That's the thing. At the end of the day, people wouldn't be watching if you weren't doing such a good job because you know your stuff, and people can watch you and hear you and know that you got your finger on the pulse, not only with the Canucks but with everything that's going on in the league. So also keep up the good work and have fun down in Vegas, and make good choices.
Absolutely, and we'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Nothing is perfect.